An all-new generation of the VW T-Cross and a brother in the SUV styling to the ID Polo is the all-new VW ID Cross. So that's their small SUV in the electric form. And we're going to take you on tour. Exterior, final design, interior, how much space do we have on the inside, and is it maybe even the more clever choice in comparison to an ID Polo because you have more flexibility, and also about the prices and possible range we'll find out with Thomas and Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with the ID Cross, which might be even the upcoming bestseller in the small EV segment. We'll find out. Here, the front, round but simple, a friendly design that was very important to the Volkswagen designers. And then if you have the IQ light, the matrix LED, here the light strip goes through and illuminated VW logo. The base models would not have the illuminated strip here in the front. So this comes then with the matrix LED, the IQ light, which is also standard for the style trim level, which is now a high trim level also built then in this very vehicle. A bright blue color here. Of course, many more colors are available. In the lower part here, we have some openings actually, also for possible cooling, although it's the electric one. Then here, the length is a little bit longer than the ID Polo. This is 4 meters and 15, 163 inches. And you have the upright SUV building style. Starts with 17-inch wheels. These are already 19-inch. I heard at some point they will also offer 20-inch. We'll see about that. But these ones are already quite large, definitely. And you will have two different battery sizes, starting at 37 kilowatt hours, LFP chemistry. This one then is also a little bit slower in charging, 27 minutes. And this one here is the big battery, 52 kilowatt hours, NMC chemistry. And then you have 105 kilowatt DC peak, 24 minutes, 10 to 80% state of charge, and 11 kilowatt AC charging. And the WLTP range figure is over 400 kilometers officially. But let's say this is also like realistic for city share driving and so on. This can be very efficient. We already did some consumption tests with the Skoda Epic, for example, in some pre-drives. But like, let's say like a realistic motorway speed, like 100, 120 and so on, you can do like 300 kilometers, 190 miles with that. Why is it possible? Although the battery is so small, because these small EVs, they don't have a large frontal area. They don't push so much against the wind. And that's why you can still score some decent range figures, although the batteries are relatively small. That's also a very interesting aspect. Then this one will also optionally offer the DCC, the adaptive suspension. Whereas with the ID Polo, you only would get that for the Polo GTI version. But here also available then for the normal ID Cross versions. And here the light strip goes through in the matrix LED trim, illuminated red VW logo in the rear. If you would there again have the base model, then you would not have the illumination in the middle part. And will also house a fairly large trunk of 475 liters. This will be very interesting soon. Let's take a look if they manage to do a frunk, because in the ID Polo, the smaller one, they have not managed to do so. And you've maybe seen other videos from that. Their logic for this new platform is there are the small hatches, ID Polo and Cupra Raval. They're built together in the same plant, and this one here is also built in the same plant in northern Spain together with the Skoda Epic. So basically they're all Spanish vehicles, so to speak, these four. And then, oh, look at that. It even has like here the gas struts. Wow. And then we have a small frunk indeed. So this is the difference then to the ID Polo. So you can house a charging cable. Not much more. That's it. But hey, I mean, at least you do have that possibility that you don't have to put the charging cable then under the trunk cover. So that's actually quite nice. And of course, at the end of the video, we'll also talk about the pricing estimation. Now to the interior, and we start with, yes, real door handles here. Grab them however you like, and they just do the job, and we don't need any fancy whatever idea door handles because everyone knows this, and firefighters as well. And then here, good door closing sound, very solid. This fits to this Golf heritage, so to speak. And then the funny thing is, from the exterior dimensions, this is corresponding to a T-Cross, but the interior dimensions are a segment higher from a T-Roc. That's very interesting with this electric platform. And here, inside of the doors, sadly hardback on the top, but then we have a nice fabric inserts right here at the door. Oh yeah, this could be a little bit softer for your elbow, but it's a leatherette cover. Proper window levers, proper controls of the side mirrors, and this is the T-Rock inspired door handle. You pull it backwards, but with a metal galvanization right there, so it's nicely done. Not covered from the inside door panel, but this is really spacious. And then this is more like a monotone interior with a leatherette steering wheel. It's not the softest material in comparison to premium cars, but it definitely does the job. And here, very nice buttons. They give a very good high quality feedback. Let's see if there will be more features coming up in these blind buttons at some point. Heated steering wheel, illuminated VW logo, and you have proper 10-inch instruments. Soon more details to that. And you get these seats here in the higher trims. There are base fabric seats available. These ones are already the style seats here with these shoulder accentuations. Then gray fabric on the inside and some leatherette on the outside. This is also the electric seat. The base seat would be a manual seat where you can also definitely live with if you want to save some money. And they give good comfort. And as a tall person, 189, 6'2", you also have some headroom here to the side, even more than to the glass roof here. There's also a fixed roof available. Here then, as I said, electric controls, steering wheel, manual, up and down, in and out. And it's a fairly good, comfortable seating position here. And in the comparison to the ID Polo, here you have a little bit different geometry. You sit a little bit more upright, which is actually quite pleasant. And also difference here that you have these vertical air vents then here. And again, here with like this galvanization, metal knurling alike on the top part. It's nice. And now, before we go into the cockpit details, I want to show you a second vehicle here in this khaki green color, and also interesting choice for sure. And this one is also equipped with 20-inch wheels. So these ones are the largest ones that are available. And yeah, sorry, by the way, for the background, Volkswagen thought it's a great idea to put studios with the same background color like the car. I disagree. I think it's hard to see the car in this surrounding, but we had no other choice. That's the setup. So yeah, looking forward also to your comments about that one. And here, this interior is also a second different one. That's why I also want to show it to you and do the cockpit with this one, because here it's a little bit brighter. That's why we can better see it. So we had the dark monotone before, and this one in here with a dual tone scheme. Bright fabric on the inside, also the styled seats, and then some bright leatherette outside and the black leatherette right here. And also you have the bright fabric, for example, there at the dashboard, and also this two-tone steering wheel. And I honestly think that looks really cool. We would probably pick it that way. So for some, the bright interior is maybe not the favorite, or maybe when you have kids about spilling things, I don't know. But I actually love it. It's a great styling and it brings more light to the interior. This one, by the way, here with the fixed roof, so this not with the glass roof, and this has a lot of headroom actually, so that's actually good. And there's also not the biggest difference than here between this edge here. And this is of course better when you have a lot of sun, and I mean you can't open the glass roof anyways, so but you can just pick it as you like. And then here, this cockpit atmosphere, 13-inch infotainment system. Also really nice with the material cladding here, also on top of the dashboard, also here how it's dampened underneath, by the way. Then you have here the subtle ambient lighting integration, for example. Then real physical dials, for example, for the fan speed, for the temperature. Here with the turning indicator, you also have a nice effect from the ambient lighting right there. They learned that from BMW, obviously. And the gear shifters here, drive, reverse and park, also very easily done in the lower part here. Did someone forget the phone? Probably. Here's an inductive charging pad. It's also cooled. And then here you can actually put a cable from underneath. Let's soon try that out, because underneath is here 2 USB-C chargers, and cup holders are not adaptive. That's maybe a thing that should be done here. Soft for your elbow, fold up, and a lot more space here actually, so that goes quite deep in there. Steering wheel here also with a two-tone up and down, in and out. The two-tone scheme is also very beautiful, and the most important thing with the scheme is always that the top part is dark, so that there's no reflection in the windscreen. But when the lower part is bright, this I think like a clever idea to give some more color on the interior, and you know this contrast, but at the same time not with the cost of reflections then in the windscreen. Here, by the way, also, this is where your knees would probably hit the area maybe at some point, and this has also a soft cladding underneath. So they have these interior details which are actually better in some vehicles that are double or triple the price. And that is something. And also the seating position is indeed a little bit better than in the ID Polo. Also, if you compare it to the ID3, which is the larger segment vehicle and more expensive. But the seating position here is better, especially for tall legs, because yes, it's an electric platform. You maybe sit a little bit higher with your feet than in combustion engines, but you don't feel it that much, you know, more upright. So this is, once again, here, I mean, if you ask me, like, where do you find an electric vehicle, a small, a very compact one, where you can still very well sit as a tall adult? This is the one now, probably the best in the seating position in this segment here so far. Now let's see if that makes sense. I plug it in the lower part and then, I mean, you can put your smartphone upright in there. So this would basically work, but does it still work when the cable is in there? So I put it from the lower part, put it up then here. And the first thing I could do, if I'm more trusting in because the cable charging is always quicker than the inductive charging, then you could do it like this and just put it in the front right there. This would be one thing, or maybe face down in the inductive charging pad as it doesn't charge inductively, and then the cable is here. Probably this is the best solution, because, I mean, the alternative would be that it's up here, like this. So this would also work, you know, then you have it up here and it's also connected to the cable. When you unplug it again, then of course the cable is like here, and then you always can go it like this, and then you always just have to, yeah. So this also works, you know, so both is possible, whatever you like. And the Harman Kardon sound system here in the test, I think it's actually really good. I mean, this is not a super expensive vehicle, and this really helps that you have like the sound cladding here, and this makes it a little bit like a sound studio, you know, so pretty cool. So I would pick that one. And the digital what's going on here?
Beach racing.
Beach racing? So okay. Leah is boycotting my review with doing some beach racing in the infotainment. Should I, how does it work here?
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 That's the...
here, like right and left. Yes, so, yes. Oh, I have to look that everything is in the camera frame at the same time. I have to look. Yeah, I think this one. Oh no, we are last, fifth and sixth. Oh, place 4. Yeah, I think we can make it to place number 1, right? Or was this? I'm shooting some flowers from the back.
Yeah.
You know, like
charging.
Like Hightower said, yeah. You know, if I ever own a flower store, it should be called Flowers and shit. Oh, number 1, place number 1. Oh no, I lost it. And then we can continue with the digital instruments right here. So view change. Oh, these are the retro gauges. Definitely would go for that one. And then here you can also go for these here. It's also possible. And looking at the world from above. Next to that here, nice buttons. Such a nice clicking feedback. Click, 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 click. And also quite cool here when I have Apple Maps and CarPlay or Waze or Google Maps and Android Auto, then you can also have the map here in the digital instruments. So that's pretty cool. And then here you also have this, like the base CarPlay interaction, and it also covers all of the screen right here. So yeah, that's actually a cool idea. Here, by the way, also when the map is more zoomed in. Now exciting about the rear seats. First of all, this here hardback on the top part again. Then here fabric inserts, same door lever from the inside. You know that it was originally inspired from the T-Roc here, this special door opener from the inside. Then also the bright fabric then here, but you can get the dark fabric if you like as well. Isofix outside each. This one to put down for some cup holders, not adaptive though. And let's see how much space do we have, and also in comparison to the ID Polo. So the thing is that you don't have more interior length. It's the same like in the ID Polo, but because the seating position is a little bit more upright, it works a little bit better than with the here with the rear legroom. It's not much, in the difference, but because you sit a little bit differently. That's why it turns out a little bit differently here. And then also headroom, it's a little bit easier here as well. And it's fine, but you can still see, because the floor is still not that low, that the angle of the knees is not perfect, but it's still fine. And then here, USB-C charging in the lower part, and once again playing with details that you also have this knurled galvanization here at the top vents. Then the trunk or the boot at 475 liters. Let's take a look here. This also fits in vertically. Then we have 1.40 meters in width, and the length about 71 centimeters. This is a little bit longer than in the ID Polo, and that we can give you like a full view here. Let's do the following here. First of all, you can put this one out or up, and you can also store it like this. This is a subwoofer that also costs you a little bit of liters. If you don't have the Harman Kardon sound system, you would have even more space underneath there. And then we can do the following. That's an interesting thing that doesn't work with the ID Polo. You can put out the top shelf. Here, you can put the shelf right there, and then it's also being held. And then you can drive, maybe put a plant up right here until the top, because from the very low bottom to the top here, this is 44 inches or 1 meters and 12. That's of course very impressive for transporting whatever, and so you're super flexible with that. And then I can also show you the rest of the measurements right there. So folding out this and this. So there we go. And if you would load things through now, and here we have the full length of 1 meters 40 or 55 inches. And then you also can have this middle solution here. Put this one in the lower setting like this. Maybe not for the loading through, but this one enables a length of 33 inches or 83 centimeters already height. This is actually quite cool. And the only thing here, this plastic clip here, this seems to be sometimes in the way of this thing, so we have to watch this one in long-term durability. And two more interesting facts before the prices. 1.2 tons is the towing capability for this one. Won't be much range then with the trailer behind, but you can do it. And 75 kilograms for the ball coupling if you want to put on the towing hook, like bicycle carrier or something like that. And then pricing starts around 28,000 euros for the small battery base spec, but honestly this would already work if you don't need it for long range and so on. If you also do some frequent motorway traveling, then of course the big battery is for you. And then if you look at this car here, big battery and also style, trim levels, so high spec, large wheels and so on, you can also go then in the somewhat 40,000 euros area. But still, it will make electric mobility in this SUV form also even more accessible now. And I think this vehicle ticks a lot of boxes, both on the exterior dimensions and also on the interior space. And I honestly think, because you can use the rear bench even better and so on, and you have the more upright seating position, and it's not so much more expensive than the ID Polo, that this might be even the hot bestseller here in this new EV lineup with the Volkswagen. Or what do you think? Tell me in the comments. And now check out more cars here on this very platform.